Welcome back, everybody.
Hello, welcome back to Lush Life
It's
No
Life, no
Labels.
label. Alfredo.
I'm Michelle.
So our story of the week, I guess, is intertwined. We actually got to see each other.
We did. I flew to see Alfredo. It was
So
pretty really
basically,
warm where you were.
yeah, because I live in the South. Basically, I turned 29 on October 16th. So Michelle, being a good friend, came down to spend the weekend with me.
Thank you so
And
much. I'm
that
such a great friend. Wow. I love that for me.
You are a good friend. I feel like that is going the extra mile. Our story of the week is related to that because whenever we see each other, we usually go to restaurants.
Yeah,
We
we
try
like to
different
eat.
foods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually eat out on my own, but when I have friends with me, especially when they visit, then I'm obviously down. So I felt like going to a Brazilian steakhouse for my birthday. So we went to one here and we were just having a really nice dinner. And then when we were leaving, we were being friendly with
The
the
manager.
waiter. Was he the
Mhm.
manager?
He was dressed differently than everyone else.
Maybe he was
Seemed
the
like he was the
manager.
boss. Yeah, he seemed like he was the boss.
Yeah, I think he was the manager, and we were talking to him as we paid. And everyone that worked there was Brazilian, right? And I went to the bathroom, came back, and then I was like, okay, let's go, Michelle. We get in the car, and then Michelle tells me,
I give him a napkin with a name and a phone number on it. So while Alfredo was in the bathroom, the manager had written his number down, gives it to me, and says, "It was really nice meeting you guys. Here's my name and my phone number. You can text me. I really want to hang out with you guys." That's all he said.
but
And
I obviously was in the bathroom when all of this happened, and Michelle didn't tell me in the moment. So we get into the car, and then I'm looking at this napkin with this Brazilian man's phone number, and we were just like, "What does he want?
does he want
Like,
with us?
does he want to be friends?" He seemed gay to me, but I was like,
That's
"Is he
what I
just
thought.
trying
I
to?"
thought he was after you, but then he said us, and I didn't know what he was trying to do.
So I did text the number, and then the guy never texted back. So I guess we'll never know what he was trying to do. Like,
It was
I
fun
just
though, trying to figure out what it is, what his intentions were with giving this number out.
I'm still really confused about what he was trying to do
You
with
were pretty
that.
unsuspecting just because you went to the bathroom and came back to the napkin with the number on it.
Also, are we in 1990 when you have to write your number now? Can you just be
He
take
was
my
busy.
number?
He had to attend to the restaurant. It was
I
getting
guess
pretty
maybe he was trying to seem professional. Oh, I'm not just giving out my number to
exactly. We'll never know. You know what it
unless
is. We should
unless
go
I
back
go
to
back
the
to the
restaurant.
restaurant.
It was great to see you. I hope you enjoyed your birthday. Moving on from that, we want to talk about some things that have been annoying us lately. Pretty much just talking about some pet peeves. Last episode, we talked about picking yourself up when you're down. Now we're just trying to be petty. So,
We can be really positive and try to encourage being emotionally mature and personal growth, but not in this episode.
no. Life is
So,
not always about improving yourself.
so Michelle, do you want to start with one of your pet peeves, manias?
Yes, I have one. So, my first one, I work in a building with a lot of floors, and I'm not close to the first floor. But what really annoys me is people who get on in the lobby and then they take the elevator to floor 1 or 2. And my whole thing is, why can you not take the stairs? It's never that serious. People who are on the floors that are way above, now we're all inconvenienced because you
Stairs.
couldn't take the stairs. And this is, I'm not saying that everyone needs to take the elevator. I know people are disabled and all that, but I'm just saying most of the people on all of these floors are always taking the elevator. And I don't think all of those people need to.
So in your building though, is it easy to get to the stairs?
I mean, the stairs are not right there, but you could make the effort. I take the stairs a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. That annoys me. And also, and I see people and I'm like, you need the exercise. Like, why are you not taking the
That's
exercise?
rude. That's
No,
pet.
I get annoyed too because that bothers me. So I
So,
agree.
what's one of your pet peeves?
Well, I travel a lot, or maybe I used to travel a lot, and obviously I fly. And one thing that has happened to me multiple times, I don't know if it's happened to you because I feel like you fly a lot too, is you get on a plane and then either some family or some couple ask to switch seats with you so that they
Oh,
can sit together, or I
that's
want to be with my girlfriend or my boyfriend or my son or whatever they're trying to say. And I've multiple times I'm like, okay, what's the seat? And I have a good seat, and then they're oh, like, do you mind switching? It's like, No, I'm not doing that. I'm really tall, so I'm not giving up an
you
aisle
need
seat.
that extra space with the
Yeah,
like
so
you need the even comfort seats.
I don't feel bad either.
You shouldn't feel bad. My whole thing with those are I get it. You want to be with whoever you're with or your family members.
I think you can pay to sit next to someone that way, but they don't want to pay the
Unfortunately,
money.
if I'm going to switch with someone, it has to be a seat of equal or greater value. If you have to be with this person for the next less than 10 hours, then I don't really know what to tell you if I don't like the seat that you want me to. It's not my fault that you're not sitting with your spouse or your family member. That's just the rules of the road at that point.
Yeah,
What I don't
actually,
like is those types of families or whoever those people feeling so entitled and then getting mad at you because you don't want to switch the seat that you paid for.
yeah. I feel like when I flew to see you last time, that
Mhm.
happened to me, and it was like some lady, and she asked to switch with me, and she's like, "Oh, do you mind switching so I can sit with my son?" And he was like 17. I was like, "Your son is like gonna be an adult soon. Like he can sit by himself on a two and a half
You
hour
said that
plane
to her?
ride." No, I didn't say that, but I was like, no, I'm not
Oh,
giving up my seat.
yeah,
On a
definitely.
related note, though, same thing about flying. I also just can't stand crying kids and babies on a plane.
I had a
And
cry
that
maybe on my way back from visiting you, actually. I always just try to bring my headphones in. My thing with babies is that they don't control that. And I don't blame parents when their babies are crying, as long as the parent looks like they're trying to soothe the baby as much as they can. I don't like it when the parents sit and look at everyone else like they don't know what the problem is. But I think what I've learned over time is that the parents whose babies cried, they feel way worse than the rest of us. They always apologize and all of these things to me. So I've always felt bad for them, and I just bring headphones, noise canceling headphones so that I don't need to hear the shrieking.
but I don't know if you ever talked to your mom about this, but I just want to add that my mom told me that I didn't cry a lot as a baby. How do
I
you
don't know what
with a baby?
that has to do with a plane, but planes are rough enough for adults, so I can see why babies have a hard time with it. I just don't like it when the parents get mad at everyone else because we're annoyed. It's like adults have a right to be annoyed at a shrieking baby. I just appreciate it more when the parents look like they're actually trying to calm the baby down versus just letting the baby do whatever.
That's
But
fair, and
I'm never
obviously
mad at the baby. That's for sure.
I am.
Well, let's move on.
I'm like, can't they like put a bib in, or not a bib,
That's not
a
how it goes. If
pacifier?
the baby is crying, it's just gonna come out.
Okay, I mean, I'm not a parent. I don't know how to stop a crying baby. Michelle, what about you?
This is pretty petty. I don't like colored contacts. I don't
Oh,
like that.
it's so tacky.
It's to me, my biggest issue with them is that when people wear those, first of all, you can tell that that's not what their eyes look like, which is what it is. That's not particularly a big issue. But my biggest thing is that to me, their eyes don't move. It's like, when you look at, I actually heard this from somewhere, but when you look at a clown mask and it doesn't move, that's how I feel about people with colored contacts. It just seems like there's no life behind the eyes, and it just weirds me out.
That's true, and this is gonna sound also, I never would have thought of this, but there are certain people I'm saying of a certain ethnic background, and our ethnic background naturally does not have blue or green eyes, and it's just kind of like, that looks really fake. But
I can't describe why it bothers. Well, I've already described why it bothers me. Really, it's the lifelessness behind them. I get people can dye their hair and do all these things, but I just can't get over the colored contacts.
I don't know if it bothers me, but I do think it's tacky and maybe it's kind of trashy to me.
Yeah. So
Hopefully none of our listeners wear colored content.
if they do,
Well,
they should continue to do what they want because I'm not the boss of anyone but myself.
moving on.
If they like their color contacts, then good for them. I don't need to like them though.
So another thing that we talked about while we were here, because it happened to us, and I might have been really loud when I said this, is I hate when you go to a store, whether it be the supermarket. It literally just happened to me now. I was at the Adidas store like a couple hours ago. Is you go to the store and there's a big line of people. It's obvious it's like a crowded, busy time at the store. And then people get to the fucking cash register and they don't have their credit card ready. They don't have the money out. And it's like you've been standing around this whole time and now you're gonna like, oh, like let me get the credit card out.
That can be annoying in the moment for sure, especially if everybody's been waiting in the line. So I can see why you would get frustrated at that.
Although I'm saying I get frustrated, but I've definitely done it occasionally. I try not to do that. Sometimes you're absent-minded. I use Apple Pay, so I don't have to get, my bills out or something.
That's true.
All right, Michelle, you're up.
This one is an entry from a friend of mine, and it's basically when you're at the gym and you see someone is using a machine that you are waiting to use, and then they're just on their phone. They're barely even using it. Then they look up and see you waiting for it, and then they just go back to scrolling on their phone. That's really
Oh, as a gym goer, I definitely relate to that, but I'm kind of an asshole and I'll just be like, you have a lot more sets left here. Just kind of
oh
pressure
yes,
them. Oh,
directly
I'm really rude at the gym. Not okay, let me explain. I'm not rude, but when people do dumb shit, I am petty
us
and
patient.
aggressive and yeah, because people do a lot of ignorant. There's some general gym etiquette, I feel like, or just I guess it extends to everything, but stuff like that kills me. I'm a certified personal trainer. I know a lot about exercise. If you're just sitting on your phone this much time, there's no way you're actually working out right because you shouldn't be waiting this long between exercises. And that annoys me too. Leave the equipment for people who know what they're doing. Related story, I was actually going to say something similar about the gym is that often what will happen is that people want to use the machine you're on or whatever the equipment you're on, and people will say, oh, are you using this? And it's like, oh, and I'm really rude. I'm like, no, I'm just standing here, sitting here with my water bottle and my backpack next to the machine. And then people,
Wow, you are spicy in the gym.
no, but it's like a rhetorical. I hate rhetorical
Oh,
questions.
you don't like rhetorical. Maybe that's the thing you're over, rhetorical questions. You sometimes do this, and it's a question that sometimes people ask me questions that there's no way why would I know the answer to that?
Yeah,
So
sometimes you're mean to me about the
I'm
questions
not mean. I'm just like, why are you asking me? Why would I know that? That is some annoying ass shit.
You're just like, I don't know about that. Don't
Like,
ask me.
why are you asking me? Google it. I don't like
Any other things that get on your
this is
nerves?
another entry. People who chew loudly. How do you feel about that?
It depends. I don't think about it that much. Have you had this experience at work where you're sort of obligated to be polite and make conversation? And sometimes you're stuck in these meetings, like a Zoom meeting. Where I work, there's a pretty big like generational gap between the people who are in their 40s, 50s, maybe even more, and then people in their 20s or 30s. The people in their 50s will be talking about, oh, my wife, Mari Carmen, she wants me to do this, and the girl is selling the Girl Scout cookies. And it's like, I don't know your family. I'm not really interested in hearing about your wife buying something at Costco. And that's what happens in these meetings. I'm just like, oh my God.
I have felt that way when people talk about things like that. It's great that they're so passionate about those things, but I just don't care.
Yeah. But it's like, it's one
And
thing
I
I
don't
have
share much
coworkers.
of my personal life at work because I'm like, I don't, it doesn't matter to these people. But it
Yeah.
just, of course, I'm polite about it and all of that because I understand why people talk about it, but it's just, yeah, I can't bring myself to really care enough about things like that.
And for me, it's I have certain coworkers that I really like and I view them as friends outside of work. And I would talk to them about my personal life, but like in a meeting with the whole department, I'm not gonna be there like, oh yeah, well, I don't have kids or a wife or whatever. Maybe it's also the heteronormativity of it also just kind of gets on my nerves. Like, oh, gotta take the kids to band practice in the minivan, whatever.
Not the
Soccer
minivan.
tournament, the soccer tournament in the
What if
minivan.
it's a Porsche?
I don't think it's a Porsche. I know how much people make. I know how much this person makes in my job. No, but I think it's obviously if I like the person and my friend, I'm interested in hearing about their family and their lives. But in like, you know, in these like work settings where people just kind of talk about their person. Has that happened to you?
That has happened to me.
But what happens, like specifically what usually comes up?
It's people just talking about what their spouse was thinking about. So, and I'm like, I've never met this spouse. I don't,
Exactly.
you
It's like,
know,
well, we
it's
don't
it's
know
just
this
awkward because
person.
I wasn't there and they can describe it, but it's more that they're proud of whatever that was, or just a bunch of photos. And I know people do this with their pets too, but it's like I don't need to see 100 photos of your child or your pet.
Yes, I agree. Especially if the baby is like weird looking. You can't quite say it.
Don't say that.
To me, most babies are kind of weird looking. Like toddlers can be cute, but like babies look like aliens. But I agree with you because just like sometimes you don't even know who this woman, these like their wife or husband is, and it's like I don't. But yeah, that happened to me. It's funny. So actually, in my job, we have a certain coworker who's guilty of this, and he's always talking about his wife doing this and that. And my other coworker and I have like a count where we like count one, count two, count
Oh,
three. Like,
whenever you mention
how many times in this 1 hour meeting is he gonna bring up his wife's name? And we don't even know who this person is. We've never met her.
maybe you'll meet her at a company event one day and you can put a face to the name.
I don't know. I've heard so much about her.
We've definitely shared a few things that have annoyed us, things that we wish people would stop doing less.
Now we've been talking so much about personal growth and looking inward. Now people are
We
gonna
are
think
not
we're
above it
just
all.
such
I certainly
petty,
am not.
petty, like bitter, jaded, petty people.
There's a lot of things that happen in life.
I
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Lush Life No Labels.
hope you laughed and maybe related to some of the things we talked about.
And think about some of the things that people do that do irk you. We all have these types of things. Don't let it get to you too much. Sometimes you can just think about those things and laugh a little bit.
Like we just did, basically. And
Have
with
a good
that,
week,
thank you
everyone.
for listening, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.